In today's exclusive feature, we dive deep into a moment that stopped a studio, ignited the internet, and resurrected a love story people swore had been tucked forever into the archives of memory. Before we begin, don't forget that you are here because you love uncovering the truth hiding behind the spotlight. So make sure to subscribe to whatever you need, tap the join button to support us even more, and hit the like if you believe love sometimes speaks louder through silence than through words. Now, let's open the curtain. What began as a playful suggestion from a late-night host turned into a televised tremor that no one present was prepared to experience. The studio had been moving at its usual rhythm, busy yet unconcerned, until the instant Barış Arduç rose from his seat and walked toward the piano. The lighting was nothing extraordinary at that moment, just the soft glow designed for a music segment, routine and unassuming. Yet there was something about his posture, the way he lowered himself to the bench, the way his fingertips hovered above the keys with a hesitancy that suggested memory rather than performance. The room sensed it before he played a single note. He inhaled deeply, not with the exaggerated bravado of a performer making a scene, but with the quiet discipline of someone steadying his heart before revealing something fragile. Then, in a voice that carried the unspoken weight of unfinished chapters, he dedicated the moment to a name that electrified everyone who heard it. This is for you, Elçin. Our roads may be different now, but some memories won't go quiet. It wasn't showmanship. It was confession, dressed in music. Those words ricocheted through the studio like a struck bell. One cameraman later admitted he clenched his arms so tightly the frame blurred for a second, forcing him to stabilize his focus. The host, renowned for witty comebacks and lightning-fast responses, found himself staring in stunned silence, mouth half open, as if he'd heard a secret he was never meant to witness. The audience sat so still that the sound of the piano bench shifting echoed louder than applause. The ballad Barış chose was not selected at random. It was a melody historically associated with longing, love that lingers in shadows, promises that never found their conclusion, conversations that ended with too many words still unspoken. When he reached the verse describing a door left ajar, his voice trembled ever so slightly, almost like a vein pulsing in a vulnerable place. It lasted only a breath, but anyone who has ever loved someone they could not forget recognized what that tremor meant. Within minutes, live comments exploded. Viewers typed frantically, "He still loves her. Someone send this to Elçin. They belong together." Entire timelines transformed into impromptu shrines dedicated to what seemed to be a love resurfacing despite time, silence, and separate paths. But no one expected what came next. Exactly 12 minutes after the broadcast ended, Elçin Sangu posted on Instagram. There were no elaborate captions, no polished narratives written by a PR team. She chose a monochrome image, simple, understated, quietly emotional, and wrote only 2 words, "I listened." 2 words that transformed a song into a national conversation. 2 words that invited curiosity, speculation, and hope. 2 words that turned nostalgia into possibility. The next morning, an actress close to Elçin spoke softly during a TV appearance, careful not to speak recklessly. She didn't expect anything like this. She watched it live. She cried. It wasn't sadness, it was something old and warm that she hadn't touched in a long time. Another insider revealed details of that night, how Elçin replayed the performance repeatedly, hands shaking, breathing unevenly. According to them, she said it felt like opening a diary she had promised herself she would never read again. Their relationship had always intrigued the public not because of scandal, but because of sincerity. Their connection was described as intense but delicate, beautiful but fragile under the weight of conflicting schedules, demanding careers, and the constant scrutiny that follows those who live in the spotlight. They never publicly dismantled what they had, never reduced it to dramatic headlines. They simply drifted into separate orbits, always speaking of one another with respect. Yet respect, as many have learned, does not erase emotion. The internet reacted with predictably unstoppable force. Fan accounts resurfaced old footage, behind-the-scenes laughter, quiet conversations, glances that seemed too genuine to belong only to characters on screen. A montage pairing the piano performance with memories from their shared work reached 1 million views within a day. People weren't just reminiscing, they were rooting for them, believing that certain stories pause but do not end. Elçin was spotted days later at a small cafe. She wore a long coat, carried a notebook, and moved as if trying not to disturb her own thoughts. Observers noticed the ring, a simple, silver band engraved on the inside. The ring Barış had gifted her on their 3rd anniversary. Its reappearance said more than any interview could. When she attended a gala soon after, reporters braced for something, though unsure how far they dared push. She remained polite, poised, distant. Then she paused, turned slightly, and allowed just a single hint of clarity. "Sometimes a melody can say what years of conversation don't manage to convey," she said quietly. "I heard it. And yes, it reached me." She said no more. And she didn't need to. Meanwhile, paparazzi caught Barış leaving a recording studio, eyes weary but content, jacket tossed over his shoulder. When a reporter boldly asked if he was working on something connected to Elçin, he smiled, small, shy, unguarded, and replied, "Some stories deserve another try at an ending." 6 words. And once more, social media trembled. As of now, there has been no official announcement. No staged reunion. No detailed explanation. Yet something undeniably has shifted. The distance between them, once believed to be solid, now feels thin and permeable, like fabric that tears under the weight of nostalgia and music. Maybe this is the beginning of a continuation. Maybe it is a gentle closure accompanied by one final melody. Whichever it is, it unfolded through a piano, a dedication spoken from the heart, and a reply of only 2 words. And perhaps that is why people care. Because sometimes love returns not in fireworks, but in silence, played softly, like a song meant only for one person who happens to hear it. Do you believe this is the start of a second chapter? Or a graceful goodbye set to music? Share your thoughts below and tell us, which other stars would you like us to explore next here on Whatever You Need? If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Whatever You Need, become a channel member with Join to support us even more. Comment your thoughts, we read them all. Until next time, this has been Whatever You Need, where real stories never hide between the notes.